Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is our group presentation for Technology Trends in Practice BTM654. Our presentation is titled Analyze of Factors Influencing Employee Attrition Prediction using the IBM HR Analytic Dataset from Kaggle. Before we begin, let me introduce our group members. Nur Eliana binti Adnan, Nurina Hazira binti Muhammad Khairi, Siti Munira binti Ismail, Nuhanisa binti Abdul Hamid, and I am Zarina binti Dahari. Today, we will present how machine learning and data mining techniques can be used to identify the factors that influence employee attrition and help organizations make better human resource decisions. Now, I will begin with the introduction of our study. Employee attrition refers to employees leaving an organization due to resignation, retirement, or other reasons. High employee attrition can increase requirement and training costs, reduce productivity, and negatively affect organizational performance. With the advancement of technology, organizations are now able to use data analytics and machine learning to analyze employee data and predict attrition risk before employees actually leave. In this project, we analyzed the IBM HR Analytics employee attrition and performance dataset from Kaggle using Weka software to identify the most important factors influencing employee attrition and evaluate different machine learning models. Next, I will explain the problem statement of this study. Employee attrition remains a major challenge for many organizations because it increases operational costs, disrupt workflow, and result in the loss of experienced employees and valuable organizational knowledge. Although many organizations collect employee data, they still rely on traditional methods such as employee surveys, performance evaluations, and managers' observation to understand why employees leave. These approaches are often time-consuming and may not accurately predict future attrition. Another challenge is that employee attrition is influenced by multiple factors, such as age, salary, job satisfaction, overtime career development opportunities, and work-life balance. Analyzing all these factors manually is difficult because of the large amount of data involved. Therefore, this study applies machine learning technique using Weka to analyze employee data, identify the most significant factors affecting attrition, and determine which prediction model perform best. This enables organizations to take proactive actions to improve employee retention.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Munira. Now I will present the objectives of our study. The first objective is to identify the factors that affect employee attrition by using the IBM HR Analytics database from Kaggle. The second objective is to analyze the relationship between employee attributes and employee attrition using data mining techniques in Weka, which helps us understand which employee characteristics are related to employees leaving the company. The third objective is to compare different machine learning algorithms to find out which algorithm gives the best prediction for employee attrition. Finally, the last objective is to provide recommendations that can help organizations reduce employee attrition and improve employee retention. Next, I will explain on the literature review. Based on previous studies, employee attrition happens when employees leave an organization, either voluntarily or involuntarily. High employee attrition can increase recruitment costs, reduce productivity, and affect the overall performance of a company. Previous research also found that employee attrition is influenced by several factors such as job satisfaction, monthly income, work-life balance, overtime, career growth, opportunity, and relationship with managers. In addition, many researchers use machine learning because it can analyze large amount of employee data and predict which employees are more likely to leave the organization.
Hi everyone, my name is Nurina and I will now present section 3, which is the methodology of our study. This study used the IBM HR Analytic Employee Attrition dataset obtained of Kaggle. The dataset was analyzed using Weka software to identify the factors that influence employee attrition. The process begins with data preparation, where the dataset is imported into Weka and checked to ensure it is complete and ready for analysis. Next is data understanding, where we examine the employee data and identify the important attribute used in the study. After that, feature selection is carried out using information gain and correlation analysis to identify the most significant attribute related to employee attrition. The selected attributes are then analyzed using a priori association rules to discover relationship between employee characteristics. Next, three machine learning algorithms, which are J48, random forest, and knife-based, are applied to predict employee attrition. Finally, decision tree, clustering analysis, and trend analysis are performed to identify patterns in the data. The results from this analysis are then used to develop the finding and recommendation of this study. Next, I will explain the data preparation process. First, the IBM HR Analytics Employee Attrition dataset was downloaded from Kaggle. As shown in Figure 2, the original dataset is stored in CSV format. Next, the dataset was imported into Weka as shown in Figure 3, where it contains 1,470 employee records and 35 attributes. The target attribute selected for this study is attrition because our objective is to predict whether employees stay or leave the company. Before the analysis, the dataset was checked to ensure it was complete and ready for processing. Finally, as shown in Figure 4, the dataset was converted from CSV format to ARFF format, which is the file format used by Weka for machine learning analysis.
My name is Nolana Adnan. Next, I will explain the data understanding section. For this study, we used the IBM HR Analytics Employee Attrition and Performance dataset obtained from Kaggle. The dataset contains 1,470 employees records with 35 attributes. However, for our analysis, we focus on several important attributes, which are age, monthly income, job satisfaction, overtime, work-life balance, and the target attribute attrition. For these attribute statistics, we found the employees come from different age group and salary levels. We also observed difference in job satisfaction, overtime practices, use of service, and work environment satisfaction. These variations are important because they help us understand that employee attrition is influenced by multiple factors instead of just one. Therefore, analysis these attributes provide a stronger foundation before applying machine learning techniques. Next, I will present the feature selection and association rule analysis. First, for the info gain attribute evaluation, Weka was used to rank attributes based on the importance in predicting employee attrition. The results show that overtime record highest information gain value 0.1763, making it the most influential factor. This was followed by monthly income 0.0416, marital status 0.0413, age 0.0329, total working years 0.0216. These attributes were selected because they provide the most useful information for predicting whether an employee is likely to leave the company. Next, for the correlation attribute evaluation, the analysis measures how closely each attribute is related to employee attrition. Once again, overtime recorded the highest correlation value of 0.1523, showing that employees who frequently work overtime are most likely to leave the organization. Other important attributes include marital status, job satisfaction, distance from home, monthly income, and work-life balance. These findings support the infogain result as overtime consistently appears as a stronger predictor of employee attrition. Lastly, the a priori algorithm was used to identify relationship between employee attributes. This analysis generated 33 one-item sets, 62 item set, 58 three-item set, and 13 four-item set. One of the strongest rules showed that employees in the research and development department who do not work overtime are more likely to stay with the company. In addition, employees with good work-life balance and higher job involvement also tend to have lower attrition. Overall, this result highlight that overtime is the most important factor, while work-life balance, department, and job involvement also play important roles in employee retention.
This slide shows the Weka output for each classification model. The first image is the output of the J48 classifier, which achieved an accuracy of 84.22%. The second image shows the random forest classifier, which achieved the highest accuracy of 84.63%. The third image is the knife-based classifier with an accuracy of 82.24%. Based on this result, Random forest is the best performing model because it provides the higher prediction accuracy among the three models. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. My name is Nwanisa binti Hamid. Next, I will present the decision tree analysis using the J48 algorithm. The purpose of this analysis is to predict employee attrition and identify the key decision factor. Based on the result, overtime is the main decision not in the decision tree. This means overtime is the most important factor influencing employee attrition. The analysis also shows that employees with overtime are more likely to leave the company, while employees without overtime tend to stay. Overall, the decision tree helps us understand the key factors that influencing employee attrition. Next is the clustering analysis using the EM algorithm. The purpose of this analysis is to group employees with similar characteristics. Based on the result, employees are divided into different clusters, where each cluster represents different employee profile. The analysis also indicates that some clusters show a higher risk of attrition than others. Therefore, clustering helps organizations better understand different employee groups and identify those who may require more attention. Lastly, I will present the trend analysis. The first relationship is age versus monthly income. The results show a positive trend where older employees generally earn higher monthly salaries than younger employees. However, employees of the same age may still receive different salaries because of factors such as seniority and job position. The second relationship is age versus attrition. The graph shows that employees from almost all age groups experience attrition, but younger employees are more likely to leave the company, while older employees tend to remain in the organization. The third relationship is distance from home versus monthly income. The analysis shows no clear relationship between these two variables. Employees with both low and high salaries are found across different commuting distance, indicating that distance from home does not directly affect monthly income. Finally, the relationship between total working years and monthly income show a strong positive correlation. Employees with more working experience generally receive higher monthly salaries, while employees with less experience tend to earn lower salaries. That's all from me.
Lastly, I will present our recommendations. First, organizations should improve job satisfaction by creating a positive and supportive work environment. Secondly, companies should provide competitive salaries and attractive benefits to encourage employees to stay with the organization. Next, employers should promote a better work-life balance by reducing excessive overtime and managing workload fairly. Finally, organizations should use machine learning to identify employees who may be at risk. This allows HR managers to take early actions and improve employee retention. Overall, this recommendation can help organizations reduce employee attrition and build a more stable workforce. That's all from me. Thank you.
To conclude, this study demonstrates that machine learning is an effective approach for predicting employee attrition. The findings show that employee attrition is influenced by several factors, with overtime being the strongest predictor, followed by factors such as monthly income, job satisfaction, work-life balance, age, and working experience. Among the machine learning models tests, random forest achieved the highest prediction accuracy, making it the most effective model for this dataset. Overall, the use of data mining and machine learning enables organizations to identify employees who are at risk of leaving and implement proactive retention strategies. This can improve decision-making, strengthen workforce stability, and reduce employee turnover. So that's all from our group. Thank you.